Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very happy to have you here, guys. In today's video I want to talk about Parfumane fragrances again. Now, if you have watched this video over here where I talk about Sacred Palace and I also introduce you to the brand there, maybe you heard me mentioning a collection called the DOLMABAHCE Palace Collection. Or maybe you have watched this video over here where I actually talk about Cevherbaha. That was a tongue twister. I'm so happy I got it right from the first time. Okay, so maybe you saw me in that video talking about Cevherbaha. I just put the pump like a few weeks ago and I am loving it in this time of the year. But today I want to continue and talk about the 3 other fragrances in this collection. And to be more specific, today I want to talk about MEFTUN, I want to talk about LALEZAR and about RAH I ASK. Now, in case you haven't watched any videos where I mention the brand Parfumane, I would highly encourage you to watch this video where I talk about Sacred Palace, because there I really go in depth about the brand, where it was founded, when it was founded, who is the founder, what ties him to the fragrance world, what is different about this brand, why I find their concept more unique. So I don't want to repeat myself in all these videos. So watch that video, or watch this video, then go watch that video. But today, like I mentioned, I want to share my thoughts on 3 fragrances, the other 3 fragrances from the DOLMABAHCE Palace collection, inspired of course by the DOLMABAHCE Palace from Istanbul. Now, this one, in all honesty, this is still my favorite one from the collection. This is the one that's the most to me from the collection, and this is all about vanilla, but a vanilla that honestly kind of made me travel through times. Let's just say, you know, back in the day, I feel like in like a vintage pastry bakery with lots of vanilla essences, with like dried sweet citruses. It is a beautiful fragrance. It's a beautiful fragrance, and I would highly encourage you to sample it if you have the possibility. Now, I don't know yet if the brand sells these kind of atomizers. If not, I would highly encourage the brand, in case they are watching this video, please add these ones to your website at least, so people from everywhere in the world that want to try out your amazing fragrances, they could have a chance to actually try the fragrances and actually get to try multiple fragrances from various collections from you, and they wouldn't have to blind buy a fragrance. Especially in today's economy, I feel like it's better to sample fragrances and to get to have like a feel of the brand, you know, before you blind buy anything from them. So yeah, like I said, today I want to talk about RAH I ASK, LALEZAR and MEFTUN. And let's start with the one that's the most lighter. That's the most lightest between these 4. Now, RAH I ASK, you guys, doesn't this has something to do with love in Turkish? I don't speak Turkish, but isn't aşk something to do like with love? Like growing up, my mother used to watch Turkish drama series, you know. But yeah, now this one, this is the kind of fragrance that, at least how I look at it, if you, let's just say, maybe you have someone very special in your life and you would want to make a very special gift to that special person, but you want to make a gift that's, let's just say, it's something else, you know, not the kind of fragrance that you find at the designer store, not the kind of fragrance that everybody wears, everybody has, everybody, you know, not that kind of like mainstream fragrance. Maybe you want something that looks a bit more unique, but you don't want something that smells too unique. Let's just say you want something that for sure that person will enjoy it. Then I would actually advise you to get for that person RAH I ASK. Now, to me, this is the most easiest to enjoy from all these 4 fragrances. Let me spray it here actually. This is light, this is girly, this is innocent, this feels dainty, this feels soft and feminine, you know, it feels, yeah, this is the feel it gives me. It starts off slightly peppery, spicy, with a beautiful crisp floral feel in the background. To me, something white floral like, and with a very beautiful powdery musk. To me, it feels honestly impossible not to like this fragrance, because legit, it's that kind of fragrance that if you're a woman and you are an elegant woman and you love classy, you know, like, I don't want to say clean girl fragrances, because I definitely don't think that Parfumane follows that aesthetic, you know, but if you like this kind of like cleaner, feminine, floral fragrances, this is for you. Or for that person who you would like to gift this fragrance to. It feels very classy, it feels very timeless, it feels very effortless at the same time, but with an elegant side. It feels somehow sophisticated, but again, keep in mind this has nothing challenging about it, this has nothing unusual or let's just say too challenging about it. This is the kind of fragrance that you would reach for with your eyes closed. So yeah, to me this is how I feel about Rah I Ask. Of course, to me, if you were to ask me like which is my favorite one from all these four, it's this one here. I'm a vanilla lover, and not just a vanilla lover, I am a vanilla lover through and through. I love heavy vanillas, and this is a beautiful, robust, decadent type of vanilla fragrance. Whereas Rah I Ask, you guys, it's slightly citrusy, slightly floral, slightly musky. You know, if you love fragrances like Joy from Dior, like Miss Dior, not Miss Dior Cherie, just the simple Miss Dior from Dior. If you love fragrances like Trésor Midnight Rose from Lancôme, I feel like this is the kind of fragrance that I would put in these types of categories, you know, feminine, dainty, a little bit innocent, a little bit elegant, you know, but very, it smells womanly in a way. It smells womanly, and also I have to say the packaging really helps, you guys, because I'm telling you, when I was using this fragrance, it legit feels like a ritual to apply it. I cannot even describe you the feeling that I have when I go to my fragrance collection. I grab this fragrance, I twist the pump because it has an on and off. I will insert a close-up. I twist it, and then I just, you know, like I apply it everywhere. I don't want to apply it now because I have to try plenty of fragrances and I don't want my nose to get tired. But yeah, it's a true experience if you ask me, and I feel like this is what makes this collection stand out the most. And this is why I say, if you would like to make a gift to someone dear in your life, perhaps you travel to Istanbul, perhaps, I don't know, you find some stores near you, this is the collection that I would advise you to start with from Parfumane. My other favorite one is Sacred Palace. That one combines two of my favorite fragrances of all time. So yeah. Now back to Rah I Ask. See, it's almost like you have just like a little zinginess from the citruses with a touch of something sweet in the background, almost a tad gourmand leaning, but it's almost that you have an overtone on top of that, you know, or like you have a note on top of that that smells kind of zingy, tangy, sweet and sour, you know. This is the feel it gives me, so it doesn't make it lean gourmand. It just keeps it very balanced, very classy, very elegant, very sophisticated, you know. I would picture this fragrance on women who wear lots of dresses, lots of white, lots of beautiful prints, but very like dainty prints, you know. It's warm as well. You do have a touch of vanilla there in the background to give a bit of roundness, a bit of warmth, a bit of fullness, but not too much, because I feel like the overall fragrance is quite crisp, clean, floral, but not the kind of clean in a sense of like laundry detergent, you know, definitely not the case. It smells like an elevated, timeless, elegant floral fragrance with a touch of citrus and with a touch of musk, if you ask me. So yes, those are my thoughts about Rah I Ask. I think it's a beautiful fragrance on its own, like objectively speaking. Of course, it's not my kind of fragrance, you know, it's not the kind of fragrance that I would personally gravitate towards. So let's move on to the next fragrance, and let's move on to LALEZAR. Now, I have mentioned in the video that I did for Cevherbaha, I have mentioned that LALEZAR to me smells like, yeah, it smells like a take on the Vie Est Belle DNA. It smells like Parfumane's interpretation of that DNA, but again, I feel like a bit more classy. I feel like, okay, so I had to go and grab something to spray it on, because I cannot spray all the fragrances on my skin because they would just like get mixed up. Now, LALEZAR, you guys, like I said, to me, it reminds me a little bit of La Vie Est Belle, especially in the opening. To me, it has a fruity accord that's done in a very similar way to the fruity accord of La Vie Est Belle. So it's definitely, this one is like a fruity patchouli, with some citruses, but like, how to explain the citruses that I'm talking about? Imagine you have the deep fruity accord that you have in La Vie Est Belle with patchouli. The patchouli here gives it this slightly deep, slightly aromatic, soft herbal feel to the fragrance, but it's very balanced. It's not taking the whole composition off balance, let's say. I feel like the patchouli is dosed here just enough to give depth and richness to the fragrance, but not too much to the point where it overpowers the composition, you know. This is not a patchouli forward fragrance, this is a fruity forward fragrance. But when it comes to the fruity accord, I get two types of fruity accords. First of all, I get something that to my nose smells like this deep, like forest berries type of fruity accord, and that is in the background. And on top of this accord, I get something that's slightly, how to explain, slightly citrusy, slightly sweet, but tangy at the same time. Like imagine like you were to bite from something and it would make your mouth go like, you know, like it would make, I don't know the expression in English, but you have this exact same fruity accord here. So I don't know, to my mind it's like something bergamot like with a bit of peach, something like this, you know, because it's not fully citrusy to the point where it smells like astringent or like refreshing, effervescent, you know, or like a cooling or like acidic type of citrus. It just has this slight sour, but like a slight sour tangy feel, you know, with a fruity feel. It's almost like you were to bite from a peach and you were to bite from in my mind like a ripe bergamot, even though, yeah, something like this, you know. This is the feel it gives me, with the deeper La Vie Est Belle-esque type of fruity accord in the background, with a patchouli, with a soft woody feel that I feel like keeps the fragrance quite balanced. It gives it again a slight darkness, a slight bit of complexity, you know. This fragrance, I feel like it's neither your deep, heavy, you know, mysterious type of fragrance, but it's neither your bright, light, breezy sort of fragrance like Rah I Ask, for example. To me, this fragrance, it's strong, it's present, it's smooth. And again, if you have someone in your life who loves the DNA of La Vie Est Belle, I think they will love this fragrance. Now, I don't want to say, I feel like it's a tad less sweet than La Vie Est Belle. I don't think it follows the same level of sweetness, you know. It's a bit more refined, if you ask me, you know. Like the fruitiness is a bit toned down, you have a slight citrus, like a tangy, zingy citrus feel on top. That's again very balanced. It just adds a slight hint to the overall fragrance, you know. It just adds again a slight complexity, you know, a bit of something else. Yes, and as it starts to develop on your skin, I feel like it just starts to get slightly denser, slightly warmer. The zingy feel, I feel like it doesn't fully go away until the last bits of the dry down, but what it does, I feel like it starts to move more and more into the background, and something vanillic-like starts to move forward. So you get more of the warm, sweet, round vanilla. Even though the vanilla here, again, it's not your cupcakey vanilla, it's not your sickly sweet kind of vanilla, it's just a vanilla hint that adds, again, fullness and roundness to me, with a dry woody accord, not even like rich woody, more like soft woody kind of accord, you know, with the deep fruity feel, with the patchouli, and I still get the peach. It's not just sweet, you know, it's not just like sweet or sickly sweet. The word that comes to my mind when I think of this fragrance is balanced. Again, it's not a fragrance that I personally gravitate towards, you know, it's not the kind of fragrance that it represents me, but if you love La Vie Est Belle, or if you love fragrances in the La Vie Est Belle family, or if you love fragrances, imagine something similar to, like if I were to put this fragrance in a scent family, let's say, I would put it with La Vie Est Belle, with Oud Amazing from Montal, but I feel like compared to both of the other fragrances that I have mentioned, imagine you take that DNA, but you make it more elegant and more sophisticated, because this doesn't scream, this is not sharp, you know, it's quite smooth, it's quite elegant. I feel like it's a tad more refined, you know, but it's still that same scent family. So if you're a fan of those kind of fragrances, or if you know someone in your life who's a fan of these kind of fragrances, I think they would really enjoy LALEZAR. And also, you guys, why I'm saying that buy them as gifts, because just like look at this bottle, you guys, just like look how beautiful this bottle is, you know, legit, like it would make, and also I will insert, if I haven't inserted so far, I will insert a close-up with the presentation. It legit feels like a luxurious experience to open this fragrance. It comes, you guys, with instructions as to how to attach the pump, and not only with instructions, but it also comes with a beautiful like card that has the story behind, or like the concept behind this collection. You know, you have few pieces of information in Turkish as well as few pieces of information in English, so I feel like it really gives you a chance to say, like, to understand the meaning behind the collection in a sense, you know. So yeah, I think it's a really beautiful and quite a thoughtful touch, you know, to have that there. So yes, okay, so I don't think I have mentioned the performance for either one of these two fragrances. So when it comes to Rah I Ask, I feel like the performance is decent, it's average. It's not the kind of fragrance that fills rooms, it's not the kind of fragrance that's like a heavy true beast mode, but honestly, I don't think this fragrance was created to be like a true heavy beast mode fragrance, or like the kind of fragrance that when you walk into a room, everyone will smell it, you know. I think this is supposed to be something very sophisticated, this is supposed to be something very elegant, classy, timeless, womanly, you know. And I feel like the kind of woman who would enjoy this fragrance is the kind of woman that she likes to keep things classy, you know, like she's very like well-mannered, like she speaks with a certain level of voice, you know. To me, like if I were to put this fragrance with other fragrances, if you resonate with the way Bulgari does their fragrances, I think you will really enjoy Rah I Ask. Now, when it comes to this one, this actually performs much better. Again, I feel like on my skin, I get it for around 6 hours. On clothes, I haven't tested it, but by how it smells, like easily a full day. This one, for instance, this one on my skin lasts very well, but on clothes, like if I spray this one on a turtleneck, for instance, I will smell it even the next day. I will smell it even the next day, and not in a sense that like I'm struggling to smell it, like it's there, it's present, you know. But then again, keep in mind this is a heavier, more robust vanilla, whereas the first one, Rah I Ask, it's more of a lighter fragrance, and LALEZAR, it's more of like a fruity patchouli, you know. So I feel like if I were to put them in the order of like how they perform, it would be something like this. You know, first one you have Rah I Ask, which basically dries down to this beautiful, warm, slightly crisp, slightly muted, sweet, floral, musky with a hint of something powdery. It's a very, again, to me, it smells proper, you know, it smells well-mannered, it smells elegant, you know, it smells sophisticated. This is the feel it gives me. Now, this one, I told you how it develops, and the last one, which is the heaviest one, but also this I feel like was created for the women who want something else and they're not afraid to wear something else. Even though, how to say, you guys, like the packaging looks very like feminine and delicate and dainty, you know, it makes you feel, it legit makes you feel, at least it makes me feel like a princess, you know, from back in the days when I'm applying this fragrance in my hair, everywhere. But now when we get to MEFTUN, this fragrance goes into a whole different vibe. Again, unusual, creative, hold on, I have a hair in my face. Unusual, creative, artistic, bold, unapologetic. It's this fragrance. This is the mood it gives me, or like the feel it gives me. It's a fragrance that it's kind of, you look at the presentation, I will insert the presentation of the fragrance here. You see it's very dainty with the green, you know, you think it's something, again, very feminine, perhaps a bit fresh, but you are hit with a true, how to say, like niche-like type of fragrance. Unless you are familiar with more abstract fragrances, I don't know if I would recommend you to get this fragrance, honestly, because I think it takes, first of all, a developed nose, so I think you need the age as well. I wouldn't picture this fragrance on someone, honestly, under 24. Like, I am 25 now, and I don't know if I can pull off this fragrance, you know. Maybe when I'm feeling extra bossy, perhaps one day, or like very, like if you're feeling very assertive, very strong, perhaps a bit bossy, you know, this is the kind of fragrance that you want to make a statement with. Like when you want to exude this energy that you're not playing games, you know, like you're serious, you're there, you're not afraid to shine, you're not afraid to take the lead. I feel like this is the kind of fragrance. Look, this one, it's so abstract, not even, it's so unique and creative that honestly I haven't tried anything similar to this one. So yeah, and definitely this fragrance, you need to test it, like properly test it before you buy it. Don't just blind buy this fragrance. If anything, this is the least safe option, I feel like, from the collection. But it's good that they added something like this, because, you know, even though many women like to feel like dainty and feminine, but you also have women who like to feel like powerful and strong, you know. Look, I didn't even have to take it to my nose, because I was already smelling this fragrance. It's so strong, you guys. Now look, honestly, this is the definition of a bismuth fragrance. Like, this fragrance is so strong. Last night I was testing it, not last night, yesterday, at like 6 or 7 p.m. I applied it. I was testing it, I was writing my thoughts about it, and next day when I woke up at 6 a.m, you guys, it was still there. Like, it was still there on my hand. And in all honesty, when I was like taking off my makeup at the end of the night, I actually used the cotton pad, you know, with some micellar water to take off the fragrance as well, and I was still able to smell traces of it the next day. So this fragrance, it's present, you guys, and this fragrance is here to stay, you know. I will insert the note somewhere for this fragrance here. To me, it's very interesting. This fragrance, first of all, when I first smell it, I'm hit with something that smells sharp, but not sharp in a cheap sense. Sharp in a sense that's, you know, it's present. Something slightly sharp, slightly citrusy, with a hint of something floral, like honeysuckle, orange blossom, that type of feel, you know. But you get also a green edge. Imagine you have this accord that's like a little bit of something from a honeysuckle or like an orange blossom type of smell. So you have this on the other hand with greenness, lots of greenness, and with something slightly citrusy and dewy. So you have this accord on one hand. It's almost a tad bit animalic as well in the opening, and it's definitely very strong. With something deep green and herbal, I'm guessing lots of patchouli. I definitely get patchouli in this fragrance. But again, I feel like the patchouli here complements very well the accord that I was telling you about in the opening. That smells quite sharp, animalic, somehow sweet floral with a green, edgy, dewy facet in a sense. So you have the green part, and then to me it smells like leather, like suede, but not new leather shoes or new leather bag, not that type of leather. To me, you know what it smells like? It smells like a freshly colored suede, because it almost has this slight inky bitter undertone in the background, and it's something, I have to say, it's very unique. I haven't tried anything like this. Now I don't know if I can pull off this fragrance. Honestly, I don't know if I'm bossy enough for this fragrance or if I'm courageous enough to wear this fragrance, but if you, it's definitely very out of my comfort zone, but from like a creative artistic perspective, it's something else. Honestly, it's something else. I haven't smelled anything like this. And even though you have all these different notes, you have patchouli that's heavy, you have the suede, and not just suede like a soft, fuzzy, muted suede feel. No, suede in a sense that it's suede, like I told you, to me it smells like a freshly dyed suede. You know, you have something inky, like I'm imagining the smell of suede with the smell of ink that you use to dye the suede, you know, in different colors. So it's something like this with, but it's not like a new leather bag. It's definitely not that smell. Keep this aspect in mind. It's definitely not the leather that you have in Cherry Punk, for instance, you know, definitely not the kind of leather. So you have this aspect that it's very heavy, very present. Quite challenging, not gonna lie, it's quite challenging. You need to have the acquired taste to appreciate something like this. Then you have the patchouli, and again, patchouli as a standalone note, it's quite overpowering. And for instance, if here in LALEZAR, the patchouli was mixed with some fruity notes, with some vanilla, so it's slightly warmer. It's almost like the patchouli there was wrapped around all these beautifying notes. Here you get the patchouli that smells, it has a slight essential oil-esque quality to it, so it smells very realistic and very grounding. And even though here on paper I get more of the suede, but on my skin the patchouli is more present and it shines a lot. So again, you have these two, and then you have this really interesting and very unique sweet, slightly floral, like honeysuckle, orange blossom type of floral, with that like slightly animalic, green, dewy feel, citrusy-esque type of feel. But again, it's not like a refreshing citrus, it's not like a acidic type of citrus, you know, it's not that like citrus on ice type of feel that you have in fragrances. No, it's like a citrus mixed with florals, mixed with something that's a tad animalic, but not animalic in a sense that it smells barnyard. Animalic in a sense smells raw in a way. I don't know how to describe it. It smells, it's present, it's sharp, but not sharp in an unpleasant way. Sharp in a sense that it feels like it cuts through the other notes and is the first thing that I smell, you know, when I smell this fragrance. So this to me, again, this is a whole vibe in a fragrance. I don't know if it's my vibe, honestly. I haven't worn this fragrance out, and I don't know if I will in the near future, especially now that autumn is coming. You guys, this is my kind of fragrance, you know, like I love my vanillas, I love my heavier vanillas, but honestly, like even though I said don't blind by this fragrance, Cevherbaha, but when I smell this one, how unique, how challenging, how unapologetic is, it makes this one seem like the safest to blind by ever. Yeah, this is my comfort type of fragrance. I love this kind of fragrances. Now this is a fragrance that intrigues me, and it intrigues me because I don't think that I can properly describe it. Yeah, I don't think I can properly describe it, you guys. It smells very different. Like I said everything that I could like put into words when it comes to what I'm smelling. But if you are one who appreciates unusual and creative fragrances, look up a sample or a decant of this fragrance. I'm telling you, it will get your creative mind going, you know. Now is definitely the sweet shines the most, and as this one starts to develop, to me the closest one, like the closest one that I can think of, even though I don't think they're similar in the dry down, but it's Irish Memo by Irish Leather by Memo. It's because you have, but again, that one is with a leather. Here it's more of a suede with a slight inky feel, almost slightly creamy in the background, like a creamy suede with something inky, bitter, and with that green floral fresh accord that I was telling you. But they are blended in such a way that none feels like it's out of place, but all this together, I'm telling you, they are a whole vibe. And the performance for this fragrance, you guys, is very long, believe me. Sometimes longer than you would like it to be, you know, especially when you are testing fragrances at night time and then you're going to sleep and you want to wash the fragrance off and the fragrance doesn't come off, you know. So yeah, this is pretty much everything I wanted to say about these fragrances. Again, thank you so much to the brand for sending me these fragrances. I am having the best time of my life discovering the brand, testing their fragrances, talking about them. They're a brand with a beautiful concept behind, you guys, and I love when I discover this kind of brand, you know. Of course, this brand is about the experience. This brand is about, to me, this brand mixes the culture part, you know, with the experience part and with the art of fragrances. To me, you have all come beautifully packaged. I feel like it doesn't matter what fragrance you get, even when it comes to the decants, you guys. Even the decants themselves are so beautiful, honestly. They're like, now I don't want to say they're like an experience, you know, but they are very beautiful. All of them are rose gold. You have the writing for all of the fragrances, and it's very like on board with the overall branding of Parfumane. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Let me know what you think about the brand. What image or like what vibe does the brand give you? Have you tried any fragrances from the brand? If you have tried, I would love to hear your feedback on them. Again, if you maybe it's the first time you're watching my videos, please watch the first video. Please watch this video over here where I go in depth about the brand and about the founder, about the concepts, about the collections. There I really go in depth about this so you can have like a feel of the brand, you know. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, you guys. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram. I will leave my handle up here. I will see you in my next video hopefully, but until then, thank you so much for watching and I want to wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye guys.